quickly, but here I am. Thank you. Welcome, Instagram. Welcome, Facebook and YouTube. Thank you so much for joining. I am coming on here because I wanted to share this little short masterclass that I have. Hey, Lily. Hey, Michelle. Thank y'all for joining. Of course, Instagram, I'm sorry again, I cannot share my screen. However, I'll talk about it. Spiritual gifts in everyday life. It's so good to see you, Michelle. I'm talking about these spiritual gifts in everyday life, and it's one of my favorite topics to share because I know that people they put them in a box, and they also so good to see you, Lily. Thank you for joining. They put them in a box, and they put them in a category, and they want to do it like TV and like Bewitched and I Dream of Jeannie and all these things, Medium and all these shows. But I really want to share about how we can use our spiritual gifts in everyday life because that is so important because we have so many gifts that we have inside of us. And so I'm going to get started right now. So there are four main gifts that we have, and there are many other Claire gifts. I don't want to make you feel like these are the only gifts, but there are four main ones. And so the four main ones that we're going to talk about today are clairvoyance, claircognizance, clairaudience, and clairsentience. Means clear in French. And one of the things that I want to absolutely bring forth today is that everyone has spiritual gifts. Everyone has psychic abilities. It's not reserved for just a few. And so I want you to write this down and put it in a conspicuous place and repeat it to yourself. I live in a divinely inspired universe. I have nothing to fear. I trust in myself. And when I do so, I trust in the very wisdom that created me. That is so powerful to me. And I actually had to put that on the screen because it just moved me so much when I saw it. When we to embrace our spiritual gifts, we open up like a flower. And this translates to amazing revelations, the gifts that we have had all our lives that are being utilized to its full potential. That makes me so happy, and I'm so fulfilled to bring that forth because so many people are running around here thinking that these gifts are only reserved for a few of us, or we have to work really hard in order to access our gifts, and that simply is not true. And that is one of the myths that I personally want to dissolve. So clairvoyance is the first gift that we're going to discuss. Clairvoyance means clear seeing. Clairvoyance is the psychic power or ability to see objects, animals, and people despite distance involved. So this can happen even when I am in Washington and California, or I'm in Washington and Lily's in Brooklyn. This clairvoyance gift does not is not limited by distance. Clairvoyance see like on a movie screen. Hey, thank you for joining. Clairvoyance can also pick up on past and future events. Clairvoyance is often used as a general term that includes other extrasensory visual abilities, such as telepathic communication and perception, prophetic visions, and lucid dreaming. One of the things that I encourage people to do is to connect to spirit on a regular basis. Form a regular practice. Do something every morning, every evening, every day, whenever you find the time or whenever you create the time. Because time is not linear, so it can be created. We can create time, we can collapse time, but that's another video. All right, so claircognizance is the next one. And claircognizance is that little notion that you get when you don't know how you know it. That's claircognizant. And that is a super amazing gift to have. And a lot of times we have it. Hey, April, thank you for joining. A lot of times we have claircognizance, but we have no idea, that we have it. Or it's something that we've had all our life and we just know things into our awareness. We just know them. And all of a sudden, we're recognizing it as this gift, but it's something that we have. Let's see. Can you hear me now? All right. I just realized I had this headset in and I was wondering if it was still working. Okay, good. Awesome. So let's see. Moving on. How it works. Claircognizant people usually are known as know it alls simply because they know things they don't even know how they know them. There's a deep sense of knowing inside, and when you're at work and you automatically know something, oftentimes you'll get an aha moment. Answers to problems will just show up in your head. Um, Things will just pop in your head, and you don't even know how they showed up or what happened. Sometimes it'll be like you'll just know the right information. Someone will ask you a question and you'll just know the right information. What's really happening is that your spirit is passing on information to you. And people that are claircognizant typically say, I know. Okay, let's see. All right, so the next gift that I'm going to talk about tonight is clairaudience. When you hear things other people don't necessarily hear from spirit, it's in clairaudience. When you hear things which transcend time and space, you hear things in the distance, you hear audible voices speaking to you, someone who hears information from the mind, not the ears. Basically, it's telepathic information coming into your mind. Sometimes people will just hear things. It'll just show up in your hearing, and you'll be like, oh my God, what is this all about? Sometimes you'll even think that you are crazy. That is one of the things that I have discovered, especially for myself, because clairaudience is one of my primary clairs. Hey, Olivia, thank you for joining. It's one of my primary clairaudiences. And so a lot of times, I'll hear things and people don't necessarily hear what I hear. And so I know that, clairaudience is working for me. Um, and when I first started with clairaudience, I started just hearing things like not even in this dimension. I would hear somebody else would hear it. And it was just really weird. And so I really didn't want to speak to people that didn't understand that or weren't in the spiritual arena, because I was like, I knew that it had to be a gift. I knew that it was something that was coming through for me. I started hearing like this, and it was just crazy until I surrendered to it and I, began to share with spirit. And then I also joined an amazing community where I was able to learn, about some of these things that, you just can't talk to other people about. You just can't talk to them. So this is clairsentience that we're going to speak of. When you feel things other people don't necessarily feel, you are experiencing clairsentience. Clairsentience is a performed by especially empathic people. When clairsentients sense other people's emotions, they will feel them physically. Clairsentient messages are generally more complex than pure feelings, and such input can offer valuable guidance when helping another person who is facing an important decision. So clairsentients typically say, I feel. And so I am guided to share with you that when you are clairsentient, for you to sit and see how you're affected clairsentient. And what I mean by that is some people are clairsentient and they feel goosebumps when things are right, when they feel something that is correct. Some people feel cold. Some people feel, like their skin is crawling, just all kinds of things. But you need to see what it feels like to you. And as I said before, we all possess all of these gifts, some more than others, and the ones that aren't as strong, we can develop them, but some more than others, but we all possess them. We all possess each and every one of these gifts. So, some little known clairs that I wanted to bring out was clairgustance. It's something that I've been experiencing of late. So, having clear tasting, someone can taste something that isn't really there. For example, someone tastes chocolate, but he or she is not actually eating any chocolate. So, that is an example of clairgustance. You can taste peanut butter. That's another one. And you're not really eating peanut butter, but you taste it. That's an example of clairgustance. And so clairalience is another having clear smelling. Someone can smell odors that are not present. An example of this is if you were to smell like a perfume. And a good example for me is that at one time I used to smell my grandmother's perfume. Now she's passed away, and we were very, very, very close. Matter of fact, she was my person. Everybody has their person that they connect with and that they love. Sometimes it's not, but for me, she was my person. And so I would smell her perfume periodically, and that would let me know that she was present in my awareness, in my room. Some people say that they smell cigars, say that they had somebody that was close to them or somebody they knew that use cigars. And this also happens a lot during mediumship. You'll smell something that is particular to whatever the spirit that used to be in a body would use or wear. Sometimes you smell roses, and it may not be very moment. So I'm saying all this to say I've created this amazing little course, and it's for those that are seeking understanding of their gifts and how to use them in everyday life, how to make them a part of themselves. Because the thing is we have these gifts, and they are supposed to be a part of us. They're not supposed to be something that we tap into, something that is an supposed to be something that is inside of us, something that we embody, something that we embrace. And so I have created this amazing course, um, and also a Facebook group to go along with the course, for those have questions, and also we'll do guidance and weekly check-ins and stuff like that. And so I'm excited to share it, and so I decided to bring it forth and just to talk about these spiritual gifts, because I that there are people out there that need to have this information, that need to know that these gifts are not just bewitched. These gifts are not just medium. These gifts are not just um, Twilight and all these other things that people watch on TV. These gifts are for us. They're for all of us. They are for us to use in our everyday life. They are to enhance our life and to bring us forth, so that we can create the life that we desire and the life that we want. And so I said, now that you know the clairs, how do you figure out which ones resonate with you? The best way to do this is to sit quietly for a few minutes and start to feel the energies around you. Look at the areas where you are, scan the room, then close your eyes and breathe deeply for a few minutes and start to take note of what you saw in that room. Can you see an item, or do you hear a sound? Or maybe it's a feeling that's in your stomach, or a taste in your mouth, or a smell of something. Or perhaps you know something unexpectedly. Once you can identify how you felt, you are well on your way to knowing what your clear gifts are, the natural ones. That this is the start to opening your intuitive side and will allow you to better understand the spiritual information you are getting as senses or intuition. It is how you interpret the energy as well as connect to the other side. So these gifts can help you right here in your life, It can also help you to connect to spirits on across the veil. It can help you to connect to your own energy. And that is what is so amazing about the spiritual gifts. It can help you connect to your own energy. So, Claire Gifts in Everyday Life, it is here. And I know the next question you want to know is how can I get my hands on it? So, I will drop the link when I'm done on Instagram and also Facebook and YouTube as well. I wanted to just introduce my team, which is my husband, David, and he is a supportive partner, and then myself, Tammy Morrison, energy shifting practitioner. Spiritual gifts in everyday life. Y'all, I'm here for it, and I'm here for you. The takeaways that I wanted you to get was what gifts are available to me, and then connecting to your intuition and stepping into consciousness. Because you spent a few minutes with me, it would be wrong of me not to offer you something special. So that is what I'm doing. So learn how to use your spiritual gifts in everyday life. I have a brand new course with lifetime access. This course is going to show you that everyone not only has spiritual gifts, but we all can use them in our everyday life. In fact, we almost always do use them in our everyday life. We just aren't aware of it. It includes a bonus ebook and a private Facebook group for connection, um, all for a great introductory price. Let me see. Yeah. So if you are ready to up level your life and connect with your spiritual gifts, this course is for you. So I will drop the link at the end of this video. And I appreciate all of you for hanging out with me and for watching me. It's been a blast. You know, I absolutely love talking to all of you about this. I got to put my face up, y'all. Oh, goodness. All right. So, again, thank you so much for hanging out with me, for joining me. Thank you, Facebook, and thank you, YouTube. Thank you, Instagram, for hanging out with me and loving on me. I'll definitely be back again tomorrow with another video because I've been called to do some and I am moving on to what I'm being called to do. So again, the course is open. I will drop the link on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube so that you guys can take a look at it. But yeah, so I made it super affordable for you. And like I said, there's a Facebook group available for support and weekly calls as well. So thank you again for joining me, Instagram. Thank you, Facebook and um, YouTube, also for joining me. And I'll definitely talk with you guys again tomorrow. Bye now. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye now. I will definitely be back on again tomorrow. And again, I'll drop those links in the comments for you. Thank you so much for joining. Bye now.